What's going on, people? Welcome back to United View. Welcome to a special edition of Flex's View. It's time for my Christmas wish list. Merry Christmas Eve, people. Let me know how you guys are feeling in the chat. Let me know what you guys are up to for Christmas. Have you stuffed your turkey? Even though I don't really like turkey like that. Have you got lamb? Have you got beef? Have you got chicken? What are you preparing for tomorrow? That's what I need to know. More than anything I've got to do in this video. But I've had a rant and a moan over the last couple of days. You don't know that. You don't know my feelings, and it ain't really going to change when it comes to the team. So I just thought, let me do a Christmas wish list. Do you know what I mean? Been good this year. What's Santa going to bring us in January? What could he possibly muscle up on the sleigh and in his present sack? So let's have a look at that. I need to get into that because I mean, like, what's possible versus what's not possible. But before we do any of that, let's hear a word from our sponsors, Manscaped.
This video is brought to you by Manscaped, and with the festive season fast approaching, I've got the perfect gift for you. Introducing Manscaped's latest release, the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver. Look at this beauty. You get every single thing you need. You get your shaving balm, you get your power shave gel as well. The all-in-one set includes everything you need to recreate that luxury professional shave right from home, whether you're after that daily silky smooth finish or prefer to maintain a rugged 5 o'clock shadow. The Chairman Pro package has you covered. The Chairman Pro is waterproof. Yes, you can use it right from the shower, and when you've finished, you just rinse it under the tap, just like that, and the hair's gone. The Chairman Pro is not just for daily shaves either. It's powerful enough to tackle up to five-day growth, making it perfect whether you're shaving every day or just tidying up after a few days. So head over to manscaped.com and join over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, and use the code UnitedView to get 20% off and free shipping.
There you go, people. Shout out to Manscaped. I mean, look at that. It's Christmas time, and I know you guys are Christmas is tomorrow, right? But after that, it's still valid. 20% off using United View code, and you get your free shipping for your Chairman Pro. Some of you, I know, last time were like, "Oh, is this for down there?" No, it's for up there, up here. Yeah. It's a face trimmer, okay, that particular one. But if you're looking for something for your loved ones, for your dad, for your uncle, might even be for your younger son, they're getting big now, you know what I'm saying? And facial hair's coming. You got all your grooming needs there from Manscaped as well. So check it out. United View code, use that. It's exclusive to you guys. So you get your 20% off as well, the Chairman Pro, and you get free shipping. And that is the thing. The shipping is the thing that does you. That is the thing that does you, because when you're adding in prices and you're like, oh, actually, this is quite cheap, and then they slap you with the shipping. No, we're removing that for you. You don't even need to worry about that. Yeah. So get involved. Shout out to Manscaped, and get your Chairman Pro right now. Okay, like the Christmas wish list. Where do we start, peeps? Where do we start with this team? Because I'll be honest, right? When I was thinking of the Christmas wish list, there's two ways of doing it. The first way is sensibly, you know what I mean? The first way is sort of being humble. So if you were asking Santa for something from the year, you can't ask for everything. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you can't ask for every single thing that you want. That's being unreasonable. But that is one way of doing it, is because basically we need everything from goalkeeper right up to striker. I believe we need a lot of things, because I've been in the video saying rip it up, Control-Alt-Delete would only keep about 3 guys. It fluctuates between 3 and 5, but not much more than that. You get my drift with that, yeah? So that's the first way of doing the Christmas list, which is completely unreasonable to say, in January, I need all of this. But there's not really much point in doing that. There isn't. So let's be reasonable. Whatever you believe reasonable to be. Whatever you believe reasonable to be, yeah? That's what we need to try and do. That's what we need to try and do. So let's start with being reasonable. My top tier, most desirable position to get in January, if I'm honest, is out of 2 positions: the wing back and an attacker. And when I say an attacker, hear me out on this. With the Marcus Rashford situation, we can't ignore the fact that if he does leave in January, which is possible, and we get a chunk of money for him, there's money there. Plus, maybe also what they would have done without even Marcus Rashford leaving. So let's just aim for like 2 players. So I'm going to say a wing back and an attacker / number 10. Whether that's a number 9 when I say attacker, or whether that's a number 10 to help us out. And I'd probably go with number 10 if Marcus Rashford leaves. But let's start at wing back. We are atrocious in that area, and Ruben Amorim's system needs such good quality in that area. Every time we go forward, we don't know what we're doing in those wide areas, because we've got defenders playing there, out and out defenders as well. You know, whether it's Malacia, whether it's Mazraoui, or whether it's Dalot. I'm going to leave Ahmad as an exception because he's been sort of, you know, tinkering between number 10 and right wing because he's that good. But the other guys that we've got there, they just simply can't do it. They simply can't do it. They can't. Like Ruben Amorim spoke about it. I think it was in that the interview done with Gary Neville when he first got here, one of the first interviews he did anyway. And he was basically saying, at this stage of the season, when you first come in, it's easier to put defenders there. It's easier to put defenders there. And I understand why it is, because to teach with this system, we more than likely have the ball. We've been seeing it in games. We've been seeing it in games where we've got 60% possession, even against some of the better teams as well. Doesn't always transpire to a win, but the principle of this way of playing is that we will have more of the ball. That is clear. We've seen that as a pattern, as a trend, right? As an identifiable way of playing. So because we've got the ball more, we're going to find ourselves in attacking positions more in the final third. And because you've got defenders there as wing backs, Dalot ain't got a clue what to do. That's being nice. He hasn't got a Scooby, mate, of what to actually do when he's high and wide in that left-hand channel in the final third. He's not really beating men. He's barely getting crosses in. Although against Spurs, I give him his dues. Like he did get quite a few crosses in that game. We could have probably scored from a couple. But by and large, he can't attack. Malacia, listen, I mean, geez, look. Poor guy. He's been out for a long time. You can see he's been out for a long time. But even ability-wise, he's not going to be at the required level. He was brought in as, you know, I'm not going to say a mediocre player from the Eredivisie. That's probably a bit strong, but a low-cost, opportunistic signing. I think he was going to go to Lyon, wasn't he? And then I think a few days before, we just jumped in there, 15 million-ish, and got him. And it was really to push Luke Shaw. So he's not the future. I need a left wing-back. Candidates, look, we're all talking about Kirkez at Bournemouth would be perfect with the skill set that he has. We had a look at him when Bournemouth slapped us 3-0 on the weekend. We need someone who's got energy, who's got power, who's got pace, and most of all has, you know, end product in the final third, who isn't afraid to be up there, who doesn't just get to the final third and think, I'm a bit high, didn't really intend on being here. Let me go backwards. Let me just keep coming inside. No, can you beat a man? Can you supply crosses to the strikers? Can you supply link up with the left 10? You know, can you link up with the left 8 who's just behind that? You know, in these little triangles, in these little areas of the pitch, we need to start forming relationships, but we need to get the profile right. And that's why if we had someone like Kirkez, and I'm not just going to throw out like names that's like, oh, this is 100%, you know, doable. Just the profile. Anthony Robinson. I've said that so many times from Fulham. He would be perfect. He would be perfect. Let's be honest. I think. I know his age maybe a little bit. You know, he's like 27, but I don't mind ready-made players. But the contract of getting him out there, he's got quite a few years left at Fulham. Might be a bit more difficult. Kirk hasn't been at Bournemouth that long as well. So they come with stipulations. But if you're talking about the player, Santa, get me this. Left wing back, of course, the dream, Alphonso Davies. We ain't going to get him in January. You know, well, look, even when I'm mentioning Kirkez and Robinson, there's going to be, that's the thing with this video. There's going to be like, well, Fleck, you can't do that. How are you going to get that player? But it might be an opportunistic signing from somewhere else. Maybe it has to be a loan to the end of the season. Maybe it has to be a free agent. And free agents are a bit difficult at this type of the season. Actually, let's be honest, because a free agent now is a bit crazy. Because it means they ain't got a club and they ain't been doing jack. So that's probably not the best, actually. I'll take that back. But you get my drift. Like, we have to be creative. I'm not saying we're going to have the perfect funds, the perfect contract, the selling club. It's just going to let it happen. I'm not saying that. I'm just coming up with some of the guys that, if I can ask Santa, this is where it's at. Wing back. Ahmad is capable. We know that. Ahmad is capable at right wing back. That can get us through. Between him, I don't count Anthony. X that off. He's had a chance. Absolutely terrible at Spurs. Before that, a couple of cameos towards the end of the games, you know, just coming on and doing a little bit here and there, but nothing great. That experiment is done. Finito. It's over. But I understand we can't go and get 2 wing backs. Listen, if you really want me to be greedy with that, I'll ask for 2 wing backs. It's only because potentially Marcus Rashford might leave. That's going to leave a hole in our attack. So I'm trying to get a bit more than that. I'm trying to get a bit more than that up top. But Ahmad's fine. He's we need another 3 of him. Do you know what I mean? You need another cover for him, right wing back, and then another 2 on the left hand side. But I don't know if Sanet can do that. He ain't on cloning people, right? So left wing back, definitely. And then with the Marcus Rashford situation, going to the top end of the pitch, he's going to leave. I think he's played his last game for Man United for sure, in my opinion. Anyway, I'll be stunned if he's back, especially this close to the January transfer window opening, and he's been left out of 3 consecutive squads now. So that to me is over. Yeah, it's done. It's finito. The type of replacement you can get for Rashford depends on if we actually sell him in January or loan him with an obligation to buy, or just a loan to the end of the season. And this is the thing that's really going to decide how much money we free up for Rashford. Because if we can sell him straight up 40 million, right? Maybe even a little bit more, who knows? Or whatever the price may be, right? But let's just give it the 40 million price tag, because we don't really want to go lower than that. Although it might be difficult to fetch that because everyone knows he wants to leave now. But if we get 40 million and get his 300 grand wages off the books in January, we have some cash to play with. We do. We absolutely do. Now, does that mean that the player that you try and get is definitely attainable midway through? I don't know. But let me tell you about players that I do want. Matheus Cunha, inside 10, perfect. Absolutely perfect in this system. He is. Let's be real. Now, the question mark is, what is he like at a bigger club? I think he was at Atletico, wasn't he? Bigger club. What's that like? How's he going to be? Look, we have to speculate to accumulate. But if the scouting is as good as they say it is, if things have changed round, they should have done their due diligence by now. There should be an idea from when Ruben Amorim's got in of the types of players on his list, and make it happen. Of course, the dream, Kvaratskhelia. Of course, Napoli. That would just be unbelievable. Of course, there's players like Victor Osimhen as well. That's a number 9 vibe. Talks about him yesterday in the media. I think that's wide of the mark. But players of that ilk, of course, when you start talking about Florian Wirtz and all that, I think we're getting a little bit away from what's really realistic. The thing is with Wolves is, I'm not even going to say they're probably going to get relegated now. Like, my thoughts when we play them. Well, you will see that tomorrow on our match day, on our match preview for Wolves. But they got a new manager. They might stay up now, right? You don't know. We can't say they will or they won't, but they got a better chance now. If Man United try and go and get Matheus Cunha now, when they're trying to stay in the league and they just got Vitor Pereira, I think it is, as the manager, they bought him for 40 million. Do you know what I mean? They bought him for 40 million. They're going to want more than that, because staying in the Premier League is worth way more than 40 million. So it's not going to be easy. Maybe we get him on loan with an obligation. And someone like Matheus Cunha, dare I do the big club bias, I think he would jump at the chance to come Man United. But again, less of from the names though, but the profile. The profile of player. He's powerful. He's strong. He can link play very well. He can play in the half spaces. He's mashed us up quite a few times as well last season, playing well. And he can score goals. He knows where the back of the net is. So I think Matheus Cunha is one that I'll definitely look at, because I think in terms of attainability, that's something. But it doesn't have to be here in the Premier League. Look, there's players abroad. There's players at clubs, in Serie A, in Liga. Even I look at is his name Mendy? Sorry, at left wing back. He's another option. Nuri at Wolves, another option. There are other options. It's more about the profile. The same way how Amorim says, let's not worry just about let's not worry just about the results, but the performance, the foundations. Let's not worry about, can this guy play in the back three? Is this guy that? Is this guy that? Let's look about the principles, about how they apply themselves, etc., etc. These are the most important things. So I'm less like, those are just names I just know off the top of my head, that if you really give me a pen and say, go and get me this guy, Theo Hernandez, AC Milan, seen him linked as well. Of course, I'd have him all day long. Top draw player. But that's just fandom. Like, the real guys who are doing this job are supposed to know value in the market, are supposed to have, lists drawn up, and you go, right, might be a bit early. We didn't expect to sell Marcus here in January. Plus, we were already going to get one player in January. PSR now has helped because we've secured a sale. Or we can sort of borrow against the sale that we've agreed to do in the summer. So let's say, for argument's sake, and this is complete argument's sake, let's say Atletico Madrid agreed to buy Marcus Rashford for a loan to the end of the season with an obligation to buy of 40 million, or 5 million loan and 35 million in the summer. Something like that could happen. But if we just loan out Rashford because it's the beginning bit of ripping this up, but it's just by any means necessary, you're gonna have to take the hit and not get the value, then guess what could happen? Marcus Rashford could leave just on a loan to the end of the season, just for some thinking time, get him playing again, because it's similar to the Sancho thing, if I'm honest. It's not as bad as the Sancho thing because he was ostracized and not in the team for a lot longer, from like what, September, in it, that Arsenal game was, all the way through to January. Rashi's one's a bit different because it's happened in December. So it's only a few weeks before the window. So you haven't have a totally inactive player. You don't have a totally inactive player trying to seek a move. But it's got shades and a lot of same principles, right, and ideologies of what happened with Sancho. Because essentially now, though, the end game is buying clubs know that we don't want Rashford to be here, and they definitely know Rashford don't want to be here. And he hasn't played in the last, by the time the window opens, it'll probably be the last 4 games, last 4 match day squads. So that's a problem. That's a problem for our bargaining. That's a problem for us trying to sort out a deal already where it's in January and it's difficult. But Marcus Rashford would present a unique opportunity for a lot of teams. Wages is an issue, of course, but not a lot of clubs would have thought at the beginning of the season that Marcus Rashford would be available for transfer or loan with obligation to buy in January. And as much as, look, this is the difficult bit. As much as we say, oh, Rashford's rubbish, who's going to want him, them wages, plus his stock's fallen, there will be teams interested in Marcus Rashford. I promise you that. Maybe not at the price that we want, which is, again, the biggest sticking point, but teams will be interested. They will come to the table to say, okay, talk to us. And that's where Omar Barada, you better Omar Barada, bro. You need to be able to, all of this, how we've got highway daylight robbery off Chelsea, and how Chelsea have got rid of players, and City have ended up selling Julian Alvarez for like over 80 million to Athletic. All these like wonder things where you go, wow, how did they get that much money? That's where we have to start cooking, because as soon as these teams enter the chat to say, Rashford's available, is he? Well, we've had a word with his camp. He says he's not happy, wants to get out. What are you saying? How much? What can we do here? We have to convince them basically that this is a guy in his prime. This is a ex-England international, potential another England international if he gets playing. This is a guy that scored over 100 and something goals for Man United in all comps. This is a guy that when he's fit can do this, can do that. This is a brand that you'll get in. These are the shirts you get. All these things, that's down to them to strike a deal. Basically, pull the wool over their eyes. And some of those things I said may be true as well. But I'm not writing off Rashford at another club. But yeah, depending on those negotiations, that depends on just exactly what we can do. If Rashford was here and going to stay, would we be like, let's be honest, we probably would have got at least one player for Ruben in January? I think we would have. We have to be realistic. PSR are at the limit. We spent 200 million in the summer, and January is not something that we tend to do well. And, if you look at last January, the January before, when we got in Sabitzer and Weghorst, because, Ronaldo left and we had injuries. I think Eriksen got injured. Andy Carroll took him out in it. So then we had to go and get a couple of players there, emergency loans. But look, last year, January, club was up for sale, didn't know what we was doing. They only just got ratified. Busy time. Couldn't do anything. We didn't do anything last January. No, actually, last January, all we did was send Reguilon back. That's what we did. So we need to look for opportunities. We need to be smart. Yeah, we need to be clever. And maybe Santa Claus can get us something. So look, it should really be more positions. I need loads more. I need 2 10s. I need 2 wing backs. I need a left centre back. I need a 6. I need a striker. Do you know what I mean? So I need a lot, but I'm just being realistic. If I could only pick 2 positions, I'm going wing back and 10. /9 though. /9. Mason Mount's out for 10 weeks as well. That's why you need more 10s. And Ahmad and Bruno can't do it all. Garnacho, it ain't really working right now. We've got to be patient with him. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Let me know what you guys think. If you had your wish from Santa, what are you trying to get? Are you trying to see different positions? Are you trying to change the goalkeeper? Do you need more centre backs? Do you need 2 more 6s? Do you need more 10s? Do you need the 9 straight away? How serious are you taking these wing backs? Let me know. Get involved, guys, and smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Have a great Christmas Eve, and we will see you tomorrow. Match preview for the Wolves game. It's been pre-recorded. I tell you now, it's not positive. That's all I will say on that. Shout out to our sponsors, Manscaped, as you can see there on the code, on the QR code. Sorry, as you can see there on the sidebar, use the code United View to get 20% off your Chairman Pro package. It's all there for you, and you get your free shipping as well. So don't say we don't hook you up. Shout out to Manscaped as well. I'm out of here, guys. Take care. Peace.